Did your mama not love you? Damn it. I guess it pays to be a specialist.
Venom 3 just got a fresh new name, Venom: The Last Dance, and it's hitting theaters even sooner this year. After some back and forth with the release dates, thanks Hollywood strikes, the movie is finally on its way, starring Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock once again. Remember that sneaky teaser we got at CinemaCon back in April 2022? Yeah, that's when the excitement started building. And let's not forget producer Amy Pascal dropping hints about this movie while we were all still buzzing about Spider-Man No Way Home. Sure, some folks weren't too keen on the first two Venom flicks, but they made serious bank at the box office. Plus, Hardy's stint in the MCU got fans hyped for what's next. So what's the deal with Venom 3, you ask? Well, let's dive in and find out. Aside from that, stay tuned until the end as we talk about an MCU theory that suggests Venom 3 will finally set up a fight with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Starting with the release date, it's good news. It looks like Venom: The Last Dance will hit theaters a bit earlier than expected, landing on October 25th, 2024. Originally, Sony had penciled in November 8th for its release, but hey, sometimes things move quicker than planned. It's funny how things circle back around, huh? The movie's initial release date was set for October 2024, and now, here we are.
Eyes, lungs, pancreas. So many snacks, so little time.
Sony's Spider-Man universe is buzzing with activity this year. We've already had Madam Web hitting screens since Valentine's Day, and Kraven the Hunter is lined up for August 30th, 2024. As for Venom 3, filming started back in June 2023, but got put on hold due to the strikes. We've only had a few updates from Tom Hardy's Instagram, like a peek at the script on June 16th and a glimpse of his character on June 29th. So who's in the lineup for Venom: The Last Dance? Well, behind the camera, we've got a big change. Kelly Marcel, the brains behind the scripts for Venom and Venom: Let There Be Carnage, is taking the director's seat this time around. She's also putting her writing skills to work, just like she did for the second movie, teaming up with Tom Hardy to cook up the story. Speaking of Hardy, you can bet he's back as Eddie Brock. He's been on board for this Venom ride from the start, signing up for 3 movies back in 2018. Joining the crew are Juno Temple from Ted Lasso fame and Chiwetel Ejiofor, though their roles are still under wraps. When it comes to who might make a comeback from Venom: Let There Be Carnage, there are a few possibilities floating around. Stephen Graham's detective Patrick Mulligan might reappear, especially since he seemed to be gearing up for a transformation into Toxin with those glowing blue eyes and monster talk. Graham hasn't spilled the beans, but he did hint at the chance of exploring that storyline down the road. Michelle Williams as Anne, aka She-Venom, is another question mark. Fans are crossing their fingers for her return, especially since she didn't get much time in her symbiote alter ego in the last movie. And let's not forget about her fiancé Dan Lewis, played by Reid Scott. If Anne's back, chances are Dan won't be far behind. As for Mrs. Chen, played by Peggy Liu, we're hoping to catch more of her charm since she's a staple at the local convenience store. Now, on to the less likely comebacks. Sadly, it seems unlikely we'll see Woody Harrelson reprising his role as Cletus Kasady / Carnage, considering Venom's head-biting finale. And Naomie Harris as Shriek? Well, she's got a pretty dramatic exit under all that rubble and a hefty church bell. But hey, stranger things have happened in the world of comics. Alright, buckle up for some MCU and SSU crossover talk. There's this theory making the rounds, suggesting that Venom 3 could be the catalyst for an epic showdown between Venom and Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So here's the scoop. Remember that chaotic spell from Spider-Man No Way Home, where Peter Parker and Doctor Strange messed up big time? Well, it ended up yanking villains from different universes into the MCU, including some heavy hitters like Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Electro, Lizard, and Sandman. After a wild ride, they got sent back to their own realities, thanks to some teamwork from Holland, Maguire, and Garfield's Spider-Man. But here's where it gets interesting. In the mid-credit scene, we got a sneak peek of Tom Hardy's Venom hanging out in the MCU, teasing some big things to come in Venom 3. Now, this theory speculates that Venom 3 could ramp up the connection between the Sony Spider-Verse and the MCU, possibly leading to a showdown between Venom and Spider-Man himself. Imagine the chaos if these two titans clash on the big screen. With Dafoe, Molina, Church, Ifans, and Fox all reprising their roles from different Spider-Man universes, it's clear that the boundaries between the SSU and the MCU are getting blurrier by the minute. One wild theory making the rounds suggests that Venom 3 might throw Eddie Brock into a reality-hopping adventure, bouncing between the SSU and the MCU. The idea? Maybe a piece of the Venom symbiote got left behind in the MCU after the chaos of Spider-Man No Way Home. If that's the case, Venom 3 could be the bridge that finally connects these two Marvel universes, potentially paving the way for a face-off between Venom and Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Tom Holland himself hinted at the possibility of Spidey swinging into the SSU, sharing some poolside brainstorming sessions with producer Amy Pascal. They tossed around ideas like Peter Parker tumbling through a portal into the Venomverse, or maybe tackling a Kraven the Hunter storyline. It was a nice distraction for Holland, who wasn't quite ready to bid farewell to his Marvel adventures just yet. While other Spider-Man villains got pulled into the mix because they knew Peter Parker's secret, Venom's arrival is a bit murkier. He didn't know Spidey's identity until after he landed in the MCU, making things a tad confusing. But fear not, Venom 3 might just be the key to untangling this web of confusion. With set photos showing Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock, there's hope that the movie will shed some light on what exactly happened during that wild ride from the SSU to the MCU. One burning question on everyone's mind is how a piece of the Venom symbiote managed to stick around in the MCU after Eddie got sent back to his own universe. Shouldn't the whole symbiote have gone back with him? If Venom 3 can give us some answers to these mysteries, it could pave the way for Eddie Brock to hop between realities, setting the stage for more multiverse madness in the MCU's Phase 6. And hey, if all the pieces fall into place, we might just see Spider-Man swinging into the SSU at long last. Now that's a crossover event worth waiting for, because Tom Holland in Venom 3 can answer major Sony Spider-Man questions. Tom Holland dropping hints about his Spidey swinging into Sony's Spider-Man universe? Now that's got fans buzzing with excitement. With talks between Holland and Sony in the mix, the possibility of seeing Peter Parker step into the SSU, maybe even in Venom 3, feels more real than ever. Sure, we've had nods to Peter's existence in the SSU, like in Madam Web, but we're still waiting for the web-slinger himself to make his grand entrance. And who better to take on one of Spidey's biggest foes than Holland's version of the iconic wall crawler? Now, where this showdown happens, whether in the MCU or the SSU, is still up in the air. Marvel Studios might want to keep their distance after some recent setbacks with Morbius and Madam Web. But hey, it's about time Spidey swung into action in Sony's corner of the Marvelverse, and Venom 3 could be just the ticket to make it happen. Well, that's it for today. Do you think Tom Holland's Spider-Man will make an appearance in the SSU? And if so, how do you think it will shake things up? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, we'll see you later. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you at the next one.